And our sports reporters, Nick Walters and Taylor Rocha, tell us what these players out of the Big 12 Conference could bring to the Silver and Black.
Day 2 of the NFL Draft is in the books, and it was another busy day here at Raiders HQ, starting off with the team introducing their new star running back, Ashton Jeanty. But then Pete Carroll and John Spytek had to get to work, and they would make Raider fans wait for that first pick of the night.
Right, but they didn't just want to take a long lunch. They actually traded back twice to pick up more draft picks in this very deep draft class. They were able to pick up 5 picks in the top 100.
What started off as their first pick being number 37 ended up being 58, having a 52 pick difference between their first pick and their second. And with their 58th pick, they would take TCU wide receiver Jack Bech, considered one of the toughest wideouts in this NFL draft class. And he has gone through tragedy with the loss of his brother in the New Orleans terrorist attack on New Year's Day.
You know, whenever I get on that field, especially now after the passing of my brother, all my emotions I let out on the field. You know, I'm not scared to go put my nose in there, go crack the safety, go crack the linebacker. You know, I think that's where my dog mentality comes into play.
He's really versatile. He can do everything. He's played outside and played inside. He's been a possession guy at times. He's really a catch and run guy. He's really physical. He's tough as you get as a receiver. He'll block like crazy. He's about as fired up as a receiver can get as far as being physical and crazy and wild and wants to be on special teams and the whole thing. So he's very, very much ready to do whatever we want.
Then 10 picks later, the Raiders pick up their first defensive player in this draft, Darien Porter from Iowa State, picking up a cornerback. And it's a pick that's very Pete Carroll, Nick.
Carroll loves his big defensive backs. That's how he built the famous Legion of Boom defensive back core that won a Super Bowl in Seattle. And with Porter being 6'3", 195, it's a fit for Pete.
We've drafted a lot of corners over the years, and we've always looked for guys that are really fast and guys that are really long and tall because of the style of the way we coach them. The one thing I think about the Darien that we took, you know, he's a lot like Richard Sherman. There's a lot of similarities in the makeup of these two kids, and really high expectations for how this works out with Darien, and he kind of fits the mold.
You know, just seeing what he's done with someone like Richard Sherman and, you know, seeing his physical profile, and excited to get to work with, you know, people who have these players under their resume. You know, it makes me very excited, and I'm ready to get to work like right now.
Obviously, Porter adding a lot to this team, but it's been a very offensively heavy draft, Nick, and you got to protect your offense. You got to protect your star in Jeanty, so the Raiders chose 2 back-to-back offensive tackles to round this thing out.
That's right. They go ahead and pick Caleb Rogers out of Texas Tech and Charles Grant out of William & Mary with back-to-back picks at 98 and 99 to help beef up the trenches and protect not just Jeanty, but also their new quarterback, Geno Smith. But Taylor, we're only halfway through this thing, and we got more picks coming up. The Raiders now supposed to have 11 draft picks, and it started off at just 9. So we got more action coming up in day 3.
Considering every position, especially quarterback, and so far it hasn't fallen, you know, our way with the evaluations that we had. But we'll continue to do that with these 6 picks going forward.
So the Raiders have taken 5 new players under their new regime, Nick, and one thing they all have in common:
they're competitors, and they'll be looking for more of them on day 3 of this draft. And we'll have your coverage on Channel 13. But for now, reporting from Raiders HQ, I'm Nick Walters.
Taylor Rocha, Channel 13 Sports.